Hey, welcome.
everybody.
It's Weekend Live, the Hamptons now.
I'll be with you in a minute. Hang on.
Patrick's always doing something else. We're live, and we have been proving it all summer long. This is our last episode, and some people are tripping off set.
The sadness, you can hear the sadness in the air that this is our
On
last
this
show.
show,
Yes.
Howard Stern joins us, sort
No,
of.
not
He
really.
did the
Not
cover of
really.
Dan's paper this week.
Hi, everybody. I'm back here behind Howard Stern.
The Bible of the Hamptons.
I do not say that.
Howard Stern
That
did
is
the
not
art.
my words.
We have lots of things going on in the news.
Yes.
Jimmy Fallon was the victim of a Rolling Stone article that sort of torpedoed him.
I don't know if I would use the term victim, but how about he was,
Well,
I want to say spotlighted or,
Well, they made him out to be not as nice as some people think he is.
and when we say they, it was
Repeatedly.
14 people they talked to.
Right.
He's gone through 9 showrunners apparently in a very short period of time. And the important thing for us in the Hamptons is, here's the pivot, is apparently they say there's a mean Jimmy and a nice Jimmy. And we have the nice Jimmy here in the
Yeah.
Hamptons.
Can I tell you, I've
If
seen
any
this.
of this is true, and if Jimmy Fallon is watching, we wish only the
Yeah,
best
so
for you.
Of course.
But
Well, I mean, I've seen this man accosted at restaurants repeatedly on
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
And he's always been gracious and
oh, he works
smiles.
the room and like he's running for mayor.
And I will tell you, I one restaurateur who I'm friendly with bought Jimmy and his wife, Nancy, I think is her name,
Nancy.
dinner. And he came over to our table and said, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jim. I'm like, yeah, I know who you are.
Dude,
This is
right.
my wife, Nancy. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I know who she is, ironically enough, too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so.
well, Eric,
his
Eric
buddy-
works for them too.
His buddy Jerry Seinfeld
Yes.
was on a show that's indicated in this Rolling Stone article, and Seinfeld issued a statement saying, they got it all wrong. This is not exactly what happened. He said it was
Dummies
very
laugh.
twisted.
Talk
And,
about not friendly people.
Oh, well.
Hey, it's our end of the
Hey,
summer
now.
show. We
Yeah.
can say whatever we want.
Yeah, what Seinfeld's not going to come on the show now because
I
we
guess
said he's not friendly?
I guess that's how it works.
What's that little show on Channel 20? Who are these people? All right, sorry.
The town hall meetings.
Yes.
He will never appear on the town hall meetings either now.
We are, if you think you're at a town hall meeting right now, you're wrong. This is the
This is
Weekend
much less
Live.
interesting.
This is, well, it's much less important.
Yes.
Unless you're doing something this weekend. We have lots of
Oh,
stuff
we
to
have so
talk
much
about.
stuff. We have the weather, we've
Yeah.
got the movies, we've got events that are going on.
And-
We've never done, I've noticed that some of the things that come up at the beginning, the wonderful graphics, we've never actually done some of those things. I was like, tide
That was
tables?
more of a-
I don't think so.
Well, you know what? We were going to do the tide tables, but you know, most boaters know anyway. And
Yeah.
that was when we were conceiving this show,
That was more of a wish
Lack of a
list.
better word.
That's
Is
more
there a
of
better word?
That's kind of
No.
a wish list or a concept board, the
Yes,
opening
yeah.
credits.
I like that, the poop on pets. We had pets on our first
We
show.
had, you know, we had a lot
Yes.
of pets.
And
had
we were responsible for
three times.
three ARF
Yes.
adoptions.
We
And-
were, they were
yes.
so cute.
And Last
little
Chance
babies.
Animal Rescue too. We had one of their
Oh,
dogs
really?
got adopted
Yeah,
off
yeah,
this
yeah,
show.
Yeah, that's so great.
So we did something good. We did
Yeah.
something good. So there
I'm
was
as
something
stunned
good.
as you are. What else is happening in the news?
The destructive lanternfly has been
is
spotted
here. See what they did in the store?
Yeah. Ooh, there it is. It looks like the bug from Silence of the Lambs.
It
doesn't
does.
It?
It looks. It does. It looks like
And
it
apparently-
needs Jodie Foster's eyes behind it.
It's just kind of just as deadly too.
Clarice and Jimmy Fallon and I will be going to Bobby Ben's.
What will you have?
Chianti.
With some fava beans.
Yeah.
And
somebody's
a spotted
liver.
lantern.
Mickey Mantle's liver. No, that wouldn't
No.
be right, would it?
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
so
too soon.
yeah.
Um,
I'll tell her to get in 5 minutes.
Okay,
All right.
there you go. Oh God.
That's my too soon.
But
joke.
yes, the spotted lanternfly, beautiful though it is, and I can say this because, as you all know, my son is getting his doctorate in entomology. I know a thing or two about bugs. This
Entomology, the
is a
study
bad
of bugs.
bug. This is. You know, he's discovered a new termite. They might name it after him if the DNA comes back. So I have the
That's
Warner
actually
Brothers.
kind of cool.
I've got like the Warner Brothers and the Wizard of Oz on one side, and then the other side I have a son who might have a bug named after him, and I think that's cooler.
This is a
I think that's
perfect
pretty
trivia
cool.
question. We'll get to that in a second, but first, I'm gonna do the weather really
Bye,
quick.
Bill.
because I'm
Bye,
gonna
Bill.
all-
Okay.
Come back, come
Oh.
back, Bill.
He's
come
over to
back.
the green screen.
I don't know what we're gonna show, but
Oh, there he is.
there. Okay, it's gonna be buggy this weekend. The weather's brought to you by Douglas Sullivan Real Estate and by the Melissa Cohn Group with William Ravis Mortgage. More at ravis.com. Oh, this is good. This is nice.
Is that Khrushchev?
Yeah. Saturday, a high in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy with chance of a thunderstorm. Sunshine and humidity at 87%. UV index is 6 out of 11. Sun is up at 6:21 and sets at 7:07. Overnight low, as Ronnie the limo driver would say on Howard Stern, 69! Sunday high in the upper 70s, humidity at 87%. UV index is 6 out of 11. The sun's up at 6:22, sets at 7:05. Yes! That's your weekend weather from Douglas Elliman and the Melissa Cohn Group with William Ravis Mortgage.
How do you spell
Ta-da.
Ravis?
R-A-V-I-E,
Oh my God.
They're going to take all their funding back. Hey,
I just got a text message from Matt.
So listen, that's so funny because Jason can't possibly know that we had a text earlier where you said we're gonna have a trivia guy on, and I said, I will bury you. Who said that?
oh, I guess.
Oh, that's right. That's why the Khrushchev.
No,
thing.
that's
But
not
by
why,
the way,
because Jason doesn't know that
how
we had
cool
that.
we can say we had Khrushchev on the show.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
that always
And
reminds
his
me,
shoe.
back in the day, in the early aughts or late 90s, when Bill and I were doing a show on some channel that shall be nameless, I'll never forget a publicist called me up and said, I think we can get Eugene Ormandy on your show. And I'm like, boy, that would be quite a feat because he's been dead for about 10 years. And the publicist was like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, they were pushing like a Eugene Ormandy
Type person.
type, like, no,
Okay.
a recording.
Oh.
And they were like, maybe we can get Eugene Ormandy on the show. I'm like, I don't think so.
think so.
And Hitler will call in.
Oh my gosh, too
Oh.
soon, too soon.
I'll tell it again in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
All right,
okay.
so say hello to Brian Tupper. He is from one of our favorite places out here, Maine Prospect.
Because they did the show.
They've done the
So
show.
we love them.
Yes, we
And,
love Ben, we love
Brian
Ben.
does a very cool thing every Friday night. So last night, but next Friday and all throughout the rest
Well,
of
no,
the
Friday,
year.
this Friday, if people are watching us on YouTube.
Yes,
it's
if you're
tonight.
watching live on YouTube now, you can go
They
tonight.
can
Brian,
scurry over to Maine Prospect.
Brian is part of this big snowball of trivia that has sort of taken over the east end of Long Island. We've written about it in a couple of places, and you and I did it on the other show.
Yeah,
we
the other
do.
show, Air Hamptons, we did it
Hamptons.
with Paul Johnson, but that's
Correct.
so great, nice to meet you, Brian, that's
Hey,
awesome.
Brian.
Happy to be
Welcome
here.
to the madness.
Yes,
Yes,
glad to
yes.
be here. I love the chaos.
Oh, we'll
you know.
change that.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be tough.
So, what-
You're
so
not looking at the clock. We still have 52 minutes.
Is this, so
You
is
better have
this,
brought a lot of questions.
they never let me get a word in edgewise, I actually talk all the time. Is this your first gig doing trivia, or how did you get into this? What's
Yeah,
the story?
you know, I did. I was a school teacher for 20 years.
God bless your
and,
heart.
Yeah.
You know, I had to get out of it.
What grade? What grade?
I taught fifth grade, and so I spent 12 years teaching geography and social studies in Florida,
Wow.
and I had to get out
Cool.
back in 2012, and I opened up a school in South Korea and spent 5 years there. And Azerbaijan, I taught humanities, and then came back
Wow.
here right before the pandemic. And I don't want to teach in America. You know, it's not the.
We don't learn.
Well, yeah, it's a little different. So,
This is not
but,
the rubric you're looking for.
yeah, you know, I like to that instructional freedom, and but what I was able to do is take that, you know, that void in my life of being that teacher, and now transfer it over into the trivia world. And so basically, it's like I build a lesson every week, and hopefully, you know, people learn something.
That's
you know,
what I was
have a
gonna-
good time.
Yeah, no, well, I was just gonna, it's
Yeah.
thematic every week. You decide on what's, it can be, give us some of the categories.
So what I do is the first round that I do is kind of like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? You know, 10 questions
And that's
from.
never, no, the answer
We're in
is
trouble
right.
already.
Yeah, like it's all the questions that we forget and, you know, we forgot about.
Yeah.
But for me, being a fifth grade teacher, it's still fresh.
Yeah.
You know, but it's always funny to sit there and see what, you know, we know and what we don't know.
Did you bring some questions for us?
I always have questions.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
good. Yeah.
Of course. So,
So, yeah.
there's money involved in the main prospect.
There's money.
We're not allowed to talk too much about money, but you can actually win, so.
Yeah,
this is-
yeah, and
Do you
we
have
always,
to have a team, or can you just show up and?
you can show up on your own, you can have teams up to, we're doing now up to 8 because we have so many people who come up and, you know, one of the best parts about trivia is it's a lot of people, they wanna come, get together, hang out, have fun, and turn their brains off from what's going on in their everyday life and
Yeah.
activate
That's
it
the
in a
motto of
different
this
way.
show.
Yeah.
Turn your, we will help you turn off your brain.
turn it
Our
off.
brains are
After
off.
seeing
Turn yours
us,
off.
you will want to turn off your
Jason,
brain.
I fixed the computer screen, so who knows?
If we were gonna ask trivia about,
There we
okay,
go.
there.
Ah.
We had a main prospect salad up for a while, so if you have any salad trivia questions, that'd be great.
No, so what, so you decide on a theme for each week, like what, like music or
Yeah,
big,
so,
big themes?
I do, like the second round would be like a picture quiz. The third round is what I call, it's Guess the GIF. and this is a fun one because I take either gifts from TV shows
Oh, right.
or from movies, and then they have to identify what movie it is just from that little clip it.
Oh,
Right.
these three here, we would crush it.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
It's a lot, like, it's so funny because that's my favorite part of making the trivia because I look at all these movies that I've seen and I laugh a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a long time,
That's so great.
and,
What fun.
yeah.
So what are some of the have you had any that stumped everyone? Have you had a question that no one was able to answer?
Some are hard.
Yeah, I asked one last week about, I brought my niece to, the Harry Potter exhibition up in New York by
Yeah.
the
Hey, I would
Empire
lose
State
that one.
Building, and then, thought it'd be a good idea to say, hey, what are the, 4 founding fathers of Hogwarts? And they were like, no, they got wrecked.
I wouldn't know.
I should have just went with the houses. Sometimes you get a little too in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like,
for
maybe this is
sure.
too easy, then it's like, oh, that was way too hard,
Yes,
so.
that's so great.
it-
I actually, on the way out here, I came up with just one little theme for a trivia thing, and I wonder if you've ever used this one, which is songs with titles that are not in the song. And I thought of like 5 of them.
Train in Vain by The Clash.
Excellent, that was not one of mine. Whoa,
I don't
yeah.
even understand this.
Okay, so like,
Hub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
oh, very good.
Oh, I get
Another
that.
one that I
We had
didn't
them
have.
on our show. They
Okay.
were wonderful people.
That, but for example, like, okay, so this Beatles song is known for its very long last note.
Oh,
The long and winding. I
I
know.
don't know.
One piano note. Dong.
Dear Prudence.
A Day in the Life.
Yeah.
And they never sing A Day in the Life. in
And
the
this
song.
Buffalo Springfield song is sometimes called Stop Hey, What's That Sound? Do you know what it's really called?
I know it's something's happened. What? Oh God, what's the name of the song?
For What It's Worth.
For what it's
And then I
worth.
had one more, the Mamas and the Papas, doing, and no one's getting fat except Mama Cass. That song's called Creek Alley. And nobody knows that one. Creequue. And I was like, this is good. And we have that guy coming on. I'm going to give him that. So that's
That's a
for
great
you.
category.
That's
All right,
my
so-
gift to you, Brian.
Ask us some questions now, Brian. Okay. Come on.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I just thought of.
All right, well,
So there you go.
we got any Yankee fans here?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
no.
not recently.
Well,
but-
I mean,
I'm a Met fan, so, but I mean,
Okay.
I respect the
All right.
Yankees, right?
Is this does this have anything to do with the Tony Awards?
Give us theater and movie questions.
I've been to the Met Gala.
You have a gay man, a woman, and a sort of gay guy. So it's like this is not
He
going to go
dresses
well. I'm
like
just
he
telling you.
dresses
Did he
very
just
well.
out me?
Yes. So,
Finally.
okay, you can try sports with
Okay,
us.
so, all right, I'll give you the first one. What New York Yankee was the first athlete to ever appear on a box of Wheaties?
Oh, would that be Hank,
Hank Aaron?
Hank
No,
Aaron?
Willie Mays.
No.
I don't know. Let me think. Babe Ruth. I don't know.
No, we're not Babe Ruth.
Sarah. So we have Sarah Alvarez. She's a Yankees fan. What?
I don't know the answer.
She doesn't know the answer either.
When's
Lucky
Lou Gehrig?
Lou Gehrig.
Was
Yes.
it Lou
Went
Gehrig?
all the
Was
way
that
back.
long ago?
It was that long ago. That was like something I was.
Don't make a joke
shocked at.
about Lou Gehrig.
Okay, it's just a-
Please don't make a joke about Wheaties and Lou Gehrig, please. Begging
What
you.
are
These
the
days are
odds
more
he's
easy.
Okay,
shy
give
of
us
Lou
another
Gehrig?
one. Give us another
All right,
one.
let's go with what Netflix show has an ice cream shop called Scoops Ahoy?
Oh, that's the one, the big one where they did the Kate Bush song. What's the name of it? Stranger Things, right?
Stranger Things?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was good. I didn't know that.
I've seen that show twice.
Are we scoring? So you're winning.
Okay.
You're
Epic
way
one.
ahead.
This is an easy one, but this is one that always
Oh, don't say
it gets
that.
it gets people to think. It's like, what is the only number that has the same number of letters as its meaning?
4.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was trying to go. I was only up to
That's-
three.
I was like 1, 2, 3.
That's what I like. And it's so funny. Those are the questions where I'm looking and
But you know what the first number?
everybody's drinking and they're all like,
You know what the first number that came to my head was 11. No.
11, yes, right, 11, because you're
There's
talking
one
about
more
Stranger
than
Things.
Official.
I get it.
Okay.
in the classic 1957 children's book How the Grinch Stole Christmas. What is the name of the town the Grinch steals holiday presents?
Whoville.
Whoville.
She beat me.
It's Whoville.
So,
I think we tied.
And this
I
one.
wish we had more time for this.
Wait,
You've
wait,
been a great guest.
Keep going,
but,
keep going. I love
All right,
this.
giddy up. What was Kramer's first name on the show Seinfeld?
Cosmo?
Cosmo,
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
Cosmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another one for me.
And so, like, what I would do, like, in the next round, I would always do this is like I call it Cash Cab Live. These are all questions that I either
Yeah.
took from Cash Cab or
Okay.
inspired or updated.
It's an homage.
Yes,
to
it's an
Cash Cab.
homage. But
Okay.
we can do, the last round that I do, it's called a Wager of Doom. Okay, so you gotta put,
Again, that's what we do every week.
Yes,
you
that's
gotta
it's
put
just
four things in order.
okay.
Oh.
Put four things in order, like connections on
Oh,
the New
yeah,
York Times
yeah,
one?
no, like,
That's like a new thing on the New York Times
Yeah, I
game.
love
Do you have
that.
that game? What is it? Connections? Or
Connections,
okay.
connections.
a good one for this is the Bourne series, like
Oh,
Ultimatum.
like we have to get them in
like,
order?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I said,
Never.
this was 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you're Marvel fans, but I have one of my regulars, their daughter is
Uh-huh.
comes up and she's a big Marvel fan, and I
Okay, well,
said,
give me a shot, I'm not sure.
Of the
I'll help you out.
Marvelettes.
so it says, put these Marvel movies in order, starting with the movie that was released first and ending with the one that was released most recently. So you have Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Doctor Strange.
Wow, well, Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, that was part
No.
3.
No,
No, just the first one, yeah.
Okay.
First one, wait, and then what were the others? Black Panther?
Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Doctor Strange.
I would say Captain Marvel was the last one. First
Doctor
one.
Strange is
Wait,
the
that's hard.
second. Doctor Strange is
No.
the second.
No, I think Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther,
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, and then
And
and
then
then Captain Marvel.
No, Kieran Brew is over there
The
shaking his
two-
head.
The two in the middle are flipped. It's
Yes.
Doctor Strange,
Strange.
then Black
Yes.
Panther.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow, have you
Oh,
seen
that
any of
sweeps me
those?
for the whole thing.
Do you know what? It's so funny because
Look,
all
Cuddy's
those
the
movies are the same
winner.
anyway. They're all
Don't
the
say
same
that.
movie.
My
Flash is supposed
son
to be
would be
terrible.
like so
I haven't
angry.
seen
at
it.
you.
Every
He would
Marvel
get-
movie is exactly the
Oh,
same.
don't say that.
Anyway.
Really, my son Bing would be here giving you a lecture.
Uh-huh.
So what time does this start every Friday at
We have
about?
So we start at 7 o'clock. Usually get going around 7:15. Depending on because of the traffic. There's some people are getting off at 7 and have to get there.
Right.
And it goes on till about 9 o'clock, 8:30.
Yeah,
9
it
o'clock.
goes, it's not.
Can I ask you,
it's-
what do you do the other like 380 hours of the week when you're not doing this?
I work up and bartend up at Town Line Barbecue.
Okay.
Ooh.
Which
Okay.
is, going from teaching to, I always say there's a lot of in common being a bartender and a teacher. You're dealing with parents,
And
except
Paul-
now they're saying thank you instead of other things.
Right.
And Paul Johnson used to bartend there. That's a trivia
And
question.
Paul-
I think, and now he does the trivia up
Now he
on
does-
Thursdays.
So are you
Yes.
there when he's?
I will be to start off, but usually it's Ryan.
I want you
the
to be
bartender,
yelling
Ryan.
stuff out, okay?
Battle of the
Promise
trivia
me.
guys.
No, but it's like Miss America. If for any reason he can't finish his duties, you can stand in.
I can
right
step
away.
in, I can
You're
step
right.
Well, and one's like the Miss America pageant, the other one's Miss
Yeah.
USA. Now you know I'm gay because I have that analogy.
Oh my God.
Where did we lose
okay.
control?
But
I
by the
have
way,
no
my
idea.
sister was Miss New Jersey, but it's a story.
Was she really?
In the USA pageant.
What
That's all
else?
I
Oh,
know
that's
the
so
difference.
cute.
She was 19, either 72 or 70.
I'm gonna look that up.
I said
That's
what
awesome.
exit? You said
What
1922.
exit?
Okay.
That's it. Four.
Brian Tupper, thank you. Main Prospect.
you.
did give
Will you,
us
Brian-
our
Ask him to hang around because he can come back and do more trivia with
yeah,
us.
if we
Get
need
us
you.
some
once you-
We
non-sports
need you.
questions.
Yeah, I'll go down
Please
Please
sports.
give
No
us some
sports.
Broadway questions if you can.
I'll look for some
Any
Broadway.
sign of
Thank
Kevin
you.
Fleming in the building? Okay, well, you know what it's time for,
Let's
and
talk
we
real
love it.
estate.
Well, we're gonna talk real, let's first of all talk about what's going on this weekend. The Sag Harbor Farmers Market is Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
good.
And this
Love
sounds
that.
really cool, and actually you guys probably know about this in the Real Estate Roundtable. The Southampton House Tour is Saturday at 1 p.m. You get to snoop around anybody's
yeah.
house, and then there's cocktails at Rogers Mansion.
Which is such a
Or
gorgeous
why
birthday.
wait? Just go into the refrigerator while you're doing the house tour.
Southamptonhistory.org for
You're
more
bad.
information there.
And then my good friend Lynn Blue is performing at Wolfer Estate on Saturday at 4.
Go Lynn Blue.
Yeah, I love Lynn
Love
Blue.
Classic pianist Michael Davidman is at the Southampton Cultural Center. We have a cultural center in Southampton. That's I need to
It's-
go there.
yes, you do
Saturday
get
at
some
6 o'clock.
culture.
And then this is kind of cool, and I hear this is good actually. There's a singing duo, a man and a woman, who do Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. And that's at West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. It's called Tony and the Lady. And it sounds cheesy and supposed to be fantastic.
Well,
So-
and listen, if that's not enough for you, the All-Star Comedy Night is at Bay Street Theater on Saturday night at 8, and then on Sunday at
Is
11.
Bill gonna be there?
No,
I
I'm
don't know. He's never invited. He was asked to leave. I just made that up. But on Sunday at 11 at Bay Street, there is a Q&A and a book signing with Julie Andrews and Emma Walton Hamilton
Oh,
of their
right.
2 new children's books.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, so that's The Enchanted Symphony is one, and I'm sorry, Emma, I'm spacing on the title of the other one. But there you
Sag
go.
Harbor Cinema also having their Friendraiser, it's called this
Yeah,
weekend.
I-
That's on Saturday.
Yeah, that's actually
So that's exciting.
they have that Saturday from 6 to 9.
Oh yeah.
Sagaponic Farm Distillery at live music, food trucks, craft cocktails, and a raffle prize.
And listen, right here at LTV, Hampton's Festival of Music is Sunday at 4 p.m. right right here in the LTV building.
We heard it last week.
We
Yeah.
did, we certainly did, and I watched the show and you could hear it coming through the walls.
Oh,
It was
could you
so much
really? Oh,
fun,
that's
yeah.
so
The big window
Wait.
the big movie this weekend is My
My
Big Fat Greek Wedding Part
Three.
3.
I didn't know there was
We're
a
gonna
part
see a
2.
featurette
There you
from
go.
that in just a little while.
And
but
Michael Clark's gonna come on later to
Michael
talk
Clark
about
is gonna-
everything that's going on
Gonna
here at
send us
LTV.
off on our last show.
There you go.
You mean the mercy
It's
killing of
almost
this
too
show?
much show. All right, so let's talk real estate.
Ah, geez, joining us once again, the lovely from William Ravis, RAVEIS.com Mortgage, part of the Melissa Cohn Group, Sarah Alvarez,
Hi, Sarah.
and from the Serhant Company Group, Serhant,
Sirhant,
Just Sirhant.
Sirhant.
with
With a period at the end.
with part of our friend Bill and I both met Ryan Serhant. Kieran Brew.
Well, I
Thank
was
you.
like,
Sorry.
Ryan is
It
not
took me
here.
a minute. We're like we were
It's
talking
even better, we've got Kieran Brew.
Thank you.
And
And also-
Brew's Cafe.
Hey,
Well-
is $1 Million Listing ever coming back? The one from New York that he was starring in?
I don't know, but I don't, he's not going to be in it, if it does.
He's doing another show. I've been told.
Told.
I heard it here
Go-
first.
yeah,
But Kieran does his own podcast
I
too.
know, Brew's
Oh,
Cafe.
how's that going?
Brew's Cafe.
It's going pretty well. It might be in that paper. They did a profile of me
The
last
Southampton Press.
week. One of the, it was on 27 East. It was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
probably in Southampton Press.
I'll look
So
for it
it's
while
going
you're
great.
Bridget will go.
chatting.
And is
Give
it
me
real
something to
estate
do.
related? Is it just,
Sometimes.
Oh.
Sometimes.
When interestingly, the lowest performing episodes have been when I've had real estate agents.
Really?
Yeah.
How did my episode go?
but this is,
Your episode's one of the best, of
Of
course.
this
course.
is the best, most highly rated portion of our show.
Is it?
We
Okay,
do
I'm
actually
not
do. People
surprised.
comment on this.
I'm
They're
not
like, "Oh, I
surprised, yeah.
Brought to
Well,
you by
that's
Douglas Elliman and William Ravis.
I'll treat this as a test to see if I can go on the brew.
No, but people have come up to me and said, "Oh, I saw the thing you did, with whoever." And I'm like, "Oh, they were good. They were,
The thing you did with whoever.
with whoever.
Well, let's think. We've had everyone from basically every
How
company.
about Sarah? Go with
Yes.
Sarah.
You have.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's with
The thing I
Sarah
did
and
with
Melissa.
Sarah.
It's
Go,
my
go-
information.
Yeah.
Well, it's Sarah and Melissa. It's anyway.
Yeah.
RAVEIS.
Ooh.
EIS.
RAVEIS.
I think William Ravis has to change his.
Someone's-
Everybody say it with a
Someone's
snout.
trying to fill some time on this
Someone's
show.
gonna do the weather in a minute. Okay, but first, let's talk real estate.
So, Kieran, you and I were talking about what a big year for trophy properties.
For big houses, yeah. Yeah, it sure has been.
Go ahead.
Well.
Start talking, Kieran.
Yeah, right. I thought you were gonna lead me on, but no,
So
well.
Tom Ford bought Lasada. I think that's
Tom
the
Ford
we
bought
saw.
Lasata. I think that is the headline. That is the
You
headline.
bought what?
You didn't hear
Lasada.
that?
Lasata is the yeah.
It's
Yeah.
52
Yeah,
million.
52 million bucks. I wonder though, it was listed at 55.
Yeah.
And it sold for 52. What's the 3 million when
Yeah,
you're
like-
talking about, like, what's 3 million
He's
among?
gotta
you
eat.
know, right?
Throw me a bone.
Come on, I just don't have it.
And more
I'm-
importantly,
that's it.
let's be real. It ain't on the ocean for 52 million, which is kind of
It's a nice
Shocking.
house, though. It's a really nice
52
You know,
for
million.
52 million. I don't want a nice house.
house. All right, all right. I'll
I-
sell you
I-
one on the ocean. You can't get on the ocean for 52
Kieran,
million.
for
Yeah,
$52
Yeah.
million, you and I could go down and basically buy Tamarindo.
We could buy Tamarindo. That would, I would rather that. I would
Yes.
rather that.
Is that in Costa
By the way,
Rica?
Yes,
there's-
it's a town.
There's some stuff in Montauk that a bunch of contemporary new homes that are about 20 million that say they have a view of the ocean. I don't know if they're ocean front, but those were breaking. But let me just ask you about because we talked about the Tom Ford purchase a couple weeks ago, but the one thing we didn't ask is whether or not, does it comp or is there any appraisal that will justify a $52 million price when it sold for 26 million like 2 years ago?
There's one that sold on Further Lane that is not on the ocean, was 441, sold on May 30th for $51 million.
Oh, all right.
So,
So-
yes, so they will, comp it out and get a mortgage for $50 million.
They'll get a mortgage?
They'll get
Yeah, if you can only scratch up the down payment.
So do you think Tom Ford was waiting for the appraisal to come in before he knew it was close?
He's on pins and needles of whether he's
Oh
gonna
my
get the
God, I hope
mortgage.
the house appraises.
Melissa, you're gonna give me the mortgage or not?
Well, at the end of the day, the value is what somebody's willing to pay, so.
Right.
There you
What's
go.
the biggest mortgage you've ever conscripted?
As a team and
Yeah,
working
as
with
a
my
team.
mom, she's worked on $20 million mortgages before, so you would be surprised at who does take mortgages, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, those are sort of more rare, I would
What's
say.
the payment on 20 million?
I actually don't know. It'd be pretty
Wow, a lot.
significant.
You can't afford it, Bill.
If you have to ask, you can't afford
You
it.
can't, right, exactly.
I would actually be curious what the insurance costs are too.
Yes.
These people care none about that. They just know that they're not paying that extra $3 million.
Who
Exactly.
other
Well,
than
that's-
Tom Ford, who's buying out here these days, Kieran?
Well, obviously, people with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Interesting, though, I think why those are so interesting is because those big trophy properties weren't selling for the last 2 years. You know, we hadn't seen a lot of 20 plus, and all of a sudden this summer, we've seen a handful of them. And there was also Chris Mitchell's on Cottage in East Hampton, sold for
Yeah.
25, full price.
Same broker sold both. I feel so bad for him.
I could
We
hear
don't
it in your
compare.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
Well, that's a question. I mean, do you guys, I mean, obviously, it's a really small
Community,
pool out here
it
in a
is.
small community, and you guys basically make nice with each other. I mean,
At least when we're in the same room, absolutely.
No, that's not true. Listen, I mean, I will tell you,
And when we're on TV.
no, but seriously, some of my closest friends are brokers who don't work for the same company I work
Yeah.
for.
yeah.
Some of them have been on the show. Some of them are in fact hand models. Hmm.
No, but it's the same with the newspaper and the media out here. It's such
Yeah.
a small pool. We all, we started the East End Media Club where we could just kind of get together and bitch and drink and
We-
all that kind of stuff. So you
I
guys
have a
something
group,
like
but
that,
there's
right?
about 50 of us. I'll talk to Kieran if he wants to join us, but we get together like once a month. And we're all from different companies and we sit around and we chat
Exchange
and we
stories.
exchange stories and
Yes.
we talk about the state of the market because it's unfiltered and
Right.
there's this sort of this circle of
I just want to
trust.
know that I'm a child of divorce. I want to know that everybody's friends.
We
We
do
all
for
get
the-
along.
Friends, you're
There are
tearing
some-
me apart.
This is a facade.
Yes.
This isn't happening.
Yeah.
after
We
this show.
we do have to get along because we end up working together. I never know
Again.
when Patrick's gonna be we're gonna be at the same company or we might be working on a deal together, so
Or
we
he'll have a
mostly
pocket
make
listing
sense.
you want or.
That sort of thing too, yeah.
John
Absolutely.
Mulaney did something where he's like you walk in and the two real estate agents look at each other. It's like they were in the Eagles together or something. They're like, "Hi, Tony. Hi, Kim." They like scream, Anyway, but it's nice to know that.
No,
out
I
here-
think I think, listen, Kieran will tell you the same thing. There are a handful that when you see it's their listing, you're like, oh, shoot, do I really have to call them?
Yes.
But I think
It's a
for the
small
most
number.
part, it's a small number. It's not a big number.
Good.
I would
good.
say the same goes with when you're working with the different attorneys,
Same thing with
mortgage
attorneys,
brokers.
yeah.
It's the whole crew, and we all try
it's a
to
small
work together
sandbox.
productively.
So what's going on with mortgages now that the market, we're now in the fall market? Have we seen a difference in the past few weeks?
We have not seen the relief in the rate market that people have been waiting for, and frankly, I'm not totally sure when that's gonna come. There are a lot of different factors that are playing into this. We have potentially the commercial lending crisis coming into play, and you're gonna start hearing more about that. But that's important to note because a lot of the same lenders who do residential mortgages also have a lot of exposure there. So we might see some changes due to that, and then even just more sort of macro when you look at what Russia and all of the oil producing
Yeah.
countries have done. I mean,
Right.
that sent the bond market into a tizzy. So all of that aside, it doesn't necessarily make it a bad time to buy.
Right.
We have this higher rate environment, there are fewer buyers out there, so go get the property that you want at a price that you like. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, even if you're paying a little bit more on a mortgage payment for a year, down the road, you'll have the opportunity to refinance, but you won't have the opportunity to get that property back.
True.
Right.
And potentially it's gonna cost a lot more, because that is also the expectation that as people move back into the market, when rates come down, it's gonna get busy and prices are gonna go up.
Now, go ahead, I'm
Well, I
sorry.
was just gonna say,
My lips to God's ears.
Let's back up a second, because you said the thing about the commercial market may have a pullback. What about out here? What about in the Hamptons? I mean, we have a lot of businesses that just pop up in the summer, probably pay enough rent almost to support the landlord through the whole. Is there anything that could pull that away?
I'm not necessarily as concerned about the state of the commercial market locally, but it's just important to note that all of the lenders that we work with, whether they're the big banks or you're talking about some of the smaller regional lenders, they do have significant exposure to those loans in the more major metropolitan markets,
Right.
because at one point that seemed like a kind of no-brainer, safe bet. So, if they have loans that are going bad on that end, that could absolutely impact their ability to make loans and also their willingness to sort of discount rates to bring in business. So,
Wow.
Now, what is the line your mother coined?
oh, you marry the house and you date the rate.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
love that. That's so clever.
But it's true. And also, are sellers now talking to you, like, my house is not moving? Is there a way to buy, help with the mortgage payments and things like that?
Yeah,
Sort of
absolutely. I would say smart sellers and agents are coming up with sort of creative ways to make their property stand out more, and one of those is by using a temporary buy down. Now, this is a product that the bank offers, but you can actually, as a seller, devise it for your property. And essentially, what it is like, for example, a 2-1 buy down would mean that the rate for 2 years is going to be discounted. That's typically at a cost of 2% of the loan amount. But if the actual rate is 7%, that would mean the first year the rate's at 5, and the second year the rate's at 6. And by then, hopefully, you've been able to do a refinance. So
Oh, okay.
Find a new date.
Find a new
Find a new
date.
date.
Very good. So Karen, I'm sorry to, I hope it's okay, but I'm just curious, who are some of your guests coming up on your podcast, Brews Cafe?
Well, this week I had Brian Burns, who was really interesting. He's in the movie business, so I figured that would appeal to you. Brian Hallwell is coming up next week,
great,
and
yeah.
he's great. Yeah, he's
Understand.
involved in the.
He
Moved from like a lot of people, he worked for the Star for a long time.
Like we all did, except McCuddy.
I have standards.
I
They're
never
very low standards.
And apparently you need to have the first name Brian to get onto.
Or Bridget.
Bridget,
Yeah.
Brian,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
exactly. And just here at the LTV studio last week, I had Josh Gladstone.
Oh, great.
Oh, cool.
So,
I actually saw that, yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You saw it or you heard it?
I heard part of it, but it's also visual, so you can see
Oh, I
it.
didn't-
Do you guys follow Walker Ward? Walker Ward is a comedian, local guy who just started doing these characters, and they are hilarious. He's on Instagram. He goes by WalkSauce42,
Okay.
and he just does these characters. Like all summer, he was doing this Wall Street intern guy, and
Really?
in line at the Surf Lodge, and what he would be saying on the LIRR. He's really funny. So I'm trying to get together with him.
Oh, that sounds like a great guest.
Yeah, so I have some fun ones
fun.
lined
So
up.
that's-
Yeah,
that's
thank you
terrific.
for asking.
Yeah, well, always,
And the market is more inventory coming on the market. Are you seeing that as well, Kieran?
Yes,
We're going all
yes.
over the place.
I know,
here.
I'm
Just
sorry.
like, you
I
know.
love it. I love it. Wait,
So-
where are we
Yes,
now?
we are back to real estate.
We're back to real estate.
I know.
Over here,
Bridget
camera over
just threw a curveball and I apologize.
No, that wasn't a. That was a
No, thank you for the.
I can't help it,
thank
I'm
you for-
curvy.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I like that.
So a lot more is gonna come on the market off-season.
We hope so. We expect so. It usually does. Last year it did not. The year before that it did not.
correct.
Things are selling, but what's happening is there's sort of like a coming together where for the past year or so, sellers kind of felt like it was 2021. Buyers felt like it was 2019, and we were kind of stuck in the middle with like nothing happening. And there wasn't much inventory as well. So
Right.
sellers are getting more realistic. Buyers are realizing if they want to be in the Hamptons, they have to come up a little bit. And there's not apparently a crash forthcoming.
Good.
And so apparently, and we expect more to come on. It was a tough season for rentals.
Very tough. Very
So-
tough.
That's
we're
been an
hoping-
ongoing conversation this summer
Yeah,
about, so many people thought they were gonna be able to rent.
There's
a lot of
that, and a
inventory.
lot of people are just doing other things.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm apparently the only person who wasn't in the Greek Isles this summer.
I'm
But
going October 21st. Come with me, you'll have so much fun.
I'm gonna be in
Oh,
Dublin that
what
weekend.
island?
Oh, I'll tell you.
Go to
I'll tell you
Ireland. The
about
other
that.
half we're in Ireland.
I'm actually
so.
I'm going on a cruise, I just have to tell you really quickly, October 21st to the 28th, and it is it's the executive chef from Kripalu, which is a yoga
Ooh.
place, but it's all very gourmet, organic, farm to table kind of cuisine, and it's sailing the Greek Isles with my friend Ray Christ. I think you can find it on jaguarpath.com. But anyway, yes, so we're going to different isles for 8 days with Jeremy Rocksmith, who was the chef at Kripalu, and he's going to be preparing food on this sailboat at all the different ports.
Oh, very
And it's
cool.
all
This is
Mediterranean
the Hamptons
cooking.
now, you can tell it's a Hamptons program, because everybody's either going to Europe or on a cruise.
I'm very excited
Or has a
about it.
private
Very excited.
chef, but
Yes, no,
that's
it's
what's
fun,
happening now.
it's
And this is our last
fun.
show of the summer, so we're kind of previewing what's happening. I wanna know in this real estate conversation, in Watermill, if they're gonna sell all of those $3 million townhouses
Yes.
next to
I think they're
Provision.
gone.
They're gone?
That's a
They're
done
gone.
deal?
Yeah, they're
And they
gone.
were about $3 million,
Yeah.
right?
Are you kidding? Wait,
They
you mean
went
the
from
thing
like
that-
2 to little over 3.
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah,
that
that
new
huge
housing
complex.
complex?
Watermill
I thought it was,
Crossing.
I thought it was
That's
Section 8.
luxury.
I thought
No,
it was
those are luxury townhomes. And they're
Not
all-
Section
they're
8,
sold.
no, they're luxury town.
They're
houses.
$3 million apiece?
Yes.
And they're
And they
gone.
sold
Oh,
quickly.
no, and I know, but the thing is that Provisions is closing in Watermelon. That was
Someone
very
new is
sad.
going in there, and I can't remember
Didn't
who it is.
mention that in the pitch.
Yeah, oh,
Someone is going into where Provisions was, and it's someone good, and I can't remember
You mean
who
like
it is.
Hey,
food?
Yes.
another
Okay,
news
good.
question. There is a report now that a 90-person cruise ship wants to start landing in Sag Harbor. If I live there, do I see that as something that's gonna hurt the value of my property?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm not in real estate at all. I was gonna say.
Let Karen answer the question.
No, I'm sorry, I'm
kidding.
shutting up now. No, I'm not shutting up. I just think that basically, well, listen, the thing about Sag Harbor is people in Sag Harbor have, and I know because I love everybody in Sag Harbor. My parents lived in Sag Harbor for 40 years.
Right.
But there's a very like close the door after us kind of a mentality. And there, I understand parking is very,
It's
very difficult
atrocious.
there. Getting in and out, it's like the Silver Conga line coming in and out of town. But they nixed the ferry coming from Greenport and, that kind of stuff because they said like even that would be too many people. So I can't
Well, I
imagine
don't
anyone
think this
there
is
is
gonna
gonna be
happen,
happy.
but I'm asking
Meanwhile,
if
there's
it
a
somehow
big-
got
In the
through.
East Hampton Star, a big article about Sag parking standoff, the gas
Yeah.
ball lot.
So
It's-
would
yeah.
something like this even go through? I'm sorry.
It's unlikely. It's
Yeah.
unlikely. I mean, I would bet with Bill that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
but,
It'll get quashed. is the
But
word.
no, I wouldn't think it would affect real estate value in Sag Harbor one
How
way or
about the guy
other.
that paid $25 million for that, one of those 3 townhouses right on the water watching a Carnival cruise go by?
What? Where?
In Sag Harbor, those.
On Bay Street.
on
Right
Bay.
next to Beacon.
I don't think it
Yeah,
can get
next
under the
weekend.
bridge, so that guy's safe for now.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
my God.
But they might let off on the other side of the bridge, and they could all come and
I-
take pictures of his glass house.
And I will tell you, actually, Sag Harbor, what I've heard from a lot of people, I work in Sag Harbor, a lot of the shop owners and the restaurateurs have said, it is a lot of day tourists in Sag Harbor.
They just come for the
They
day
come
and
for the day.
have lunch and,
And you know what?
Walk
Hey,
around.
it's good for the economy,
It
it's
is.
bad for parking.
yes, it is. That's true.
So if they wanna come in by boat, I think that's better.
That's
Probably.
true.
Less traffic.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that bay was that deep. I
It's
didn't
the
know it
only
had been
deep-
dredged to
It's
the.
the only deep water dock in the Hamptons,
I did not.
even deeper than Montauk. Sag
Wow.
Harbor, yeah,
I didn't
Wow.
know that.
yeah.
Did
They
not
used
know
to
that.
call them whaling ships.
They used to call them
Ah,
whaling ships.
thanks.
Yeah,
That's
you're
our
right.
director, Jason Nauer.
Jason,
Thanks,
right.
Jay, for coming
With
in with that.
The note,
Um,
yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, thank you guys for joining us. I
been
wanna get
lots
you
of
to
fun.
step over and do the weather for us.
Okay.
You guys wanna
Together.
do it together?
Oh, yeah, come on, Sarah, you've never done the
You're
weather.
the
Oh,
first
come
guest
on.
that knows how to say Ravens.
RAVEIS.
Okay.
Come
Yes,
on over
go
there,
on.
Karen.
Come on over to the green screen. Don't look
Apparently,
behind you.
don't get nervous if you see Nikita Khrushchev with
Or
you.
no,
No,
I think
they're-
Jason's gonna have something completely different
Oh.
for Kieran. So much fun to have Sarah
Bye,
Alvarez
Sarah.
Thanks,
and
Sarah.
Kieran.
I thought I was going to get the large print. Didn't I order the large print edition?
Sag Harbor. We just found out that there's a cruise ship.
I have to say, brought to you by Douglas Elliman. Am I going to get in trouble for this?
You can say it's brought by Sarah Ham this week. Go ahead.
You can do that. All right, go.
If I go, Weekend Weather is brought to you by Douglas Elliman Real Estate and the Melissa Cohn Group with William Ravis Mortgage at more at ravis.com, RAVEIS.com. Saturday in the upper 70s, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. Sunshine and humidity at 87%. What does that even mean? UV index 6 out of 11. Is that good? Is that good or bad? UV index 6 out of 11. We question everything out here in the Hamptons. Sun's up 621, guns up 622, and sets at 707. Overnight low 69, Bill?
Yeah, I think so.
Sunday in the upper 70s, humidity at 87%, UV index 6 out of 11. Sun's up 622, sets at 705. That's your weekend weather. From Douglas Elliman and the Melissa Cohn Group with William Ravis, RAVEIS Mortgage.
Wow.
And And it goes to
11.
1, 2.
Thank you.
Jason, was that Eisen?
Why does the UV index go to 11?
I have no idea.
The
We have
UV
no
index
idea.
goes to 11 because it's one more than 10.
We've asked that every week.
It's one higher.
We've asked that every week and nobody.
Was that
knows.
Eisenstein?
Yep.
Was that
Too
Eisenstein?
late.
Oh my God.
Here
By
we
the way,
ready?
Kieran Brew of Sirhan.
Thank you, Kieran.
Can we get Kieran,
Yay.
let it go. Since he pitched Douglas Sullivan, can we get one more shot of Kieran?
Yay, Kieran
Next
with
to
Michael Clark.
Yeah.
Executive Director.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
no,
right.
good, you got my belly, that's what it is.
So,
live?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Sorta.
trying to be. We'll fix everything in post.
yes, right, there is no post. Hint, there is no post.
This was a crazy, wild experiment that has been going on all summer long, and it was instantly greenlit, so you can blame the next gentleman, by the guy who tirelessly will put almost anything, and I think we're proof of it, on the air. Michael Clark is the executive director here at LTV. He's the reason this show happened. We went in basically and said, what if we came we started out every Saturday morning, and that became
Yes,
more.
Fridays, which is
Yeah, we
little
can still
better.
tell you about what's happening all weekend long, doing this live on YouTube on Friday and then repeated over the weekend. Here, and also thanks to Connie in Southampton. So,
yes.
Michael, we just wanted to thank you.
Yes.
Thank
And-
you.
First of all, how many complaints have you gotten about
I
the
have
show?
gotten 0 complaints.
No
Oh,
way.
That's
You're
because
like-
nobody watches.
We actually have some people watch, it's a few dozen. Okay.
I've been stopped on the street by people who said, please stop doing that.
You know they play this show at the jail in Riverhead.
Really?
No.
So someone is walking up did you see that crazy escape
Oh,
the other day?
yes.
Where the guy
The guy-
Yes.
And he was the second
And he's
guy
the
to
second
do it.
guy.
Oh my
Second,
gosh.
yeah.
The second guy, you would have thought after the first.
That's a
They would
show.
figure
Let's
it
give
out.
that guy a
Well,
show.
why does this have to be the last show? I mean, I know you're doing one in October.
Yeah, we are gonna.
Please don't tell me I have to be
preview
back here next week.
We're gonna-
What about a weekend live monthly?
Well, maybe, we can talk to
Well,
some.
we have our other
we can
show,
talk to some
Air-
sponsors.
We have Air Hamptons
got Air
that we
Hamptons
do,
too.
which is a monthly show,
Yes.
which is also on WLW.
I like that show much better, Air Hamptons.
Do you?
Yes, I think it's a much better show.
Tell us what's your summer been like here, besides this show? Like there's been a lot of activity at
It's been
LTV.
pretty crazy. Yeah, we've had a pretty good summer. There's a lot of diversity in what's going on. A lot of community theater now. You know, the Hamptons Festival of Music and all kinds of one-off type of events. We even had a summer camp here for the first time this year.
And you've had our fabulous variety shows, or with what's the one with the musicals for the kids?
That's
junior-
our Fabulous Variety Show
Yeah.
and South Fork Performing Arts.
Right, South Fork Performing Arts, we've had
Um,
everybody here.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's been great, and having Kieran mentioned Josh Gladstone, having him being part of the team, elevates us and just brings us to a whole different level of who we can contact or who we might be associated with. We've had the cabaret series, which went over very well, a piano series.
You've had Stupid Bird.
Yes, yeah, we did.
Which
And
is-
this is cable, so you can say stupid
No, I
fucking bird.
Oh my God,
Oh
you
my
just
God,
said the
F-bomb.
F-bomb. It's been dropped on
Beautiful.
this show and I couldn't be happier. Oh my gosh.
And
Now
it
I'm
was
gonna
the
say it
guy
all
in
the time.
charge that said it.
That's
I'm
fantastic.
That's
just
fucking
giving-
amazing.
Oh.
Okay, that's enough. Oh
Now
my
we're gonna get,
goodness.
I don't know if WilliamRaveis.com wants to like that.
Well, it's the name of the show. I mean, it's the
No,
actual
last
name.
now
of
we're
the
going
play.
viral,
It's
people.
the last
It's,
one.
it's the name of the play. I
Go
was just
for
naming
broke.
the play.
That's so great, and it really does harken back, because I've been coming to LTV and been with LTV and done things at LTV for almost 40 years, and to say that
Wow.
it really harkens back to the Frasier and Francis Ann days, and God bless Frasier, he just
Yeah,
passed this past week or
he
2
did.
weeks ago, and
Yeah.
he was 103 or something?
101. He was 101.
Let's say 103.
103 is
It's
even
cool.
Give the extra
Wow.
2 years.
He'll be 110 by the end of the week
Yes.
and all the.
It's
the
the
social
Hamptons,
media.
everything
Yeah.
gets marked
But
up.
but back then, I remember coming here and seeing like Raft of the Medusa, which was Joe Pintoro's play,
Wow.
and like there was so much stuff being workshopped here, and I feel like those days have kind of come back to LTV. Like you're kind of, it's become kind of a black box for people to try things out. Do you feel that? a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit?
absolutely, and that's our mantra. That's what we try to follow. It's still, no matter what we do, it's still all about community, and that's what Frasier wanted. That was his vision when he came up with LTV, and that's what we're trying to continue to do, and make a little money on to keep it going.
Yes.
We're not for profit. And so it's it's been good. It's been great, and having you guys here has been wonderful, because what people don't think about a lot of times is the crew. Jason and Jody and everybody that
Are those their names?
that is their name. And
We think about them
We
every.
love them.
but they enjoy, they come out of this, session with you guys, both this one and the Air Hamptons, they're jazzed. And it was, because it was different at the beginning. It was very different. This and Air Hamptons, this is not a type of thing that this group anyway has done before. And we've seen it evolve. I think you guys have too, right? And, it's, and it will continue to do so. So thank you for that. Thank you
Michael,
for
you're
bringing
such a
that.
sweetheart. That's
We're
why
still
everybody
really
loves
bad
you.
at it, but you guys are very supportive. I will
So
say, everyone
supportive.
here is like a
And-
cheerleader.
And
Everyone.
they are. And
says-
even though I owe Jason and Jody money, I
But
just,
you know what? Can I ask you guys a favor? Can we get Brian to come back on and ask all of us trivia questions? Because
that's
in
a
his
good idea.
previous life, Michael, of course, had Crossroads Media.
Yeah.
And so he's a music maven.
Sure.
And if Brian comes back on and sits here
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
middle.
he's coming.
But let
he's
me ask
coming.
Michael one quick question.
Yes.
This Wednesday, they have the jazz blindfold test?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here at 6:00.
That
What is the jazz blindfold
Well,
test?
Downbeat Magazine, which is a jazz magazine, has been doing these for years. And the gentleman comes on, Dan Ouellette, and he asks a seasoned jazz veteran, he'll play something, he goes through like the archives of, and just plays some music. They kind of dissect whatever is that he's playing, has them try to guess who it is and that type of thing. And then they print it in the magazine, but they're gonna do it, as a live thing and part of the Hamptons Jazz Fest as well.
So it's so it sounds like trivia, kind of.
It is kind of,
Really,
yeah,
kind of, it's guessing.
yeah, and it's all
But
free.
this weekend, we also have the Hamptons Music Festival here.
We do.
Right.
The-
On Sunday at
On
4.
Sunday at 4.
You have so
And
much stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's been, we should remind people who didn't see the show last week, which is probably everyone looking at this show right now. A 42-piece orchestra.
Yeah,
And
cream of the
a-
crop from around the country.
A really unusual opportunity to see great musicians in probably the smallest venue they've ever played together. So the level of intimacy here in Studio 3
Yep.
Yeah,
is pretty incredible.
it was actually really wonderful because our director, Jason Nauer, when it was over, he's like, come here, you've gotta see this. And I went and just got like 10 seconds of this full orchestra. It was just,
I made the mistake of not going to see that. I'm so sorry.
yeah, it was really amazing.
Yeah.
Just so, that's just incredible to
All
have that
right,
kind of
reel
stuff
out
here.
some more trivia.
Yeah, give us something, Brian.
Before that, I do wanna say thank you because
Good to see
my niece has performed at two of these. She performed at Matilda
Oh, she did?
Oh.
and
We
what
just
was
did
it?
that
And Guys and Dolls
Okay,
Junior.
yeah.
Oh,
And
great.
So she was part of the summer camp.
yeah, she
Yeah.
had so much fun. I mean, and the talent that
I know.
those kids were amazing.
It really is.
I was like, I mean, if you haven't seen I was blown away. Like
Yeah,
it was
they're
like.
Okay, Brian, that could have been a thank you email to him.
Yeah,
Let's get to the question.
That's great.
We got
This
12
show,
minutes
I'm plugging in. I'm
Thank
plugging
you.
my
No.
niece's,
Thank you.
acting
Jeez,
ability.
Louise.
do you want me to
for
pull up
saying
her headshot?
Anyway, so give us some trivia.
All right, so
And Kieran, feel free to yell things out from the
Oh, Karen, come
peanut
on back
gallery.
here. We'll do trivia in here.
Come
Come on.
Come stand over here. It's our last show. Let's get the whole
One
crew
more
going.
belly shot.
Yes, please.
And Brian and his
Karen
pink
Blue. Karen
seersucker
Blue.
blue.
That's
All right,
Lynn
the
Blue.
seersucker season
Karen
had in
Blue.
hand.
Okay,
Eventually,
so-
we're gonna get everybody
Okay.
to.
Yeah,
We need some
come
help
on
with,
over here.
I-
And this is Jody.
musically, we should have Jody,
Okay.
Jody stay as
Yeah,
well. We
so-
should have Jody.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
All right,
Give us
Jody, stay
questions.
tuned.
Give
Okay.
us questions.
I'm
First
not
one I
going
had
to
is
the phone.
a geography one. Greenland is a territory of what European country?
What is Denmark?
Oh, yay, Kieran gets it. Go
very
ahead.
good.
You don't have to, it's not fucking
There's
Jeopardy.
no Googling.
You don't have to put it in
Wait,
the
can
form
we,
of a
Bill,
question.
wait, the very best,
I love the F-bombs are now just
Oh, now that we know, you're in trouble.
my ADD kicked in. Bill had a friend who watched the show and said, you about me on my computer. What did your friend say?
Because whenever I look at the show, it looks like Patrick's watching a much better show.
I love that. Okay, give us another one.
All right, how many keys are on a standard piano?
88.
80.
Well, that's,
I
everybody
only know
knows
that 'cause
that,
of
right?
the bar.
88?
I just said it faster.
I thought it was a trick question. It is 88?
It is
Yeah.
88. Of course it is.
Except in Denmark.
Um, All right, the isthmus of which country connects Costa Rica and Colombia?
Panama.
And therefore, North
Panama.
America and South America.
Panama.
Get some good geography get
Sorry,
played.
I have a house in
It
Costa
just came
Rica,
up
so that's.
recently.
Well,
As I've said, I feel like it's like this one time at
Quicker than
band camp,
that.
it's like Bridget's like, I have a house in Costa Rica.
I'm gonna go to
time.
27 and get some more people for the
No,
second.
come back, come back.
All right, come on, more trivia,
We
more
don't
trivia.
know.
One,
Yes.
With what two-word phrase did the media refer to the 5 main actors of The Breakfast Club?
Brat Pack.
the Brat Pack.
I got that one.
I almost said Rat Pack.
Or as I say,
Brat
K
Pack.
fromage.
Que fromage.
Yeah.
Is that it? Give us one more.
Where was the first capital city of the United States, the city where George Washington was sworn into office on April 30th, 1789?
Philadelphia.
Boom!
What was it?
got it.
What
Philadelphia?
did- what was
New
it?
York
Oh,
City.
New York
That's
City.
right.
Yeah.
Right, it was like
They
the-
made this Tulsa in New York City.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part about creating these is I didn't know that, and I'm
Oh, that's
always like, I'm
great.
always learning something new, and that's the fun part about doing this.
That's really cool. And I have to ask you a question. Where did you get your wicked cool
The
pink
seersucker.
seersucker
Oh man,
pants
so I got them when I was in Thailand. I had them all,
for $2?
Oh, really? Dude,
yeah, I had like all these different colors made because
Here, hike a leg up a little so we can show the camera.
Baby girl, all right.
It's probably
I will-
Moray.
I'm
Show
not-
that leg.
I'm not gonna tell you, but there is one funny line in the movie Sophie's Choice, and it has to do with seersucker.
I don't remember
All right.
any funny
I'll tell you
lines.
later.
Too soon.
But I remember that Mike Nichols.
One funny line.
Mike Nichols used to play piggies with his kids, like this little
Yeah.
piggy went to market, but instead he'd grab a piggy and he'd say, "Which piggy? You must choose! Which piggy?" That's only a joke if you've seen the movie or read the book. So,
Hey,
and it's not very
speaking
funny.
of Sophie's Choice, we have one now. We were supposed to run this preview for Big Fat Wedding.
Greek Medi 3.
Big
Yeah,
fat
3.
Greek
My big
wedding
fat
three.
Greek wedding 3.
$300 tells everything you need to know about the
Big fat
two you haven't
divorce.
seen before. So let's roll that and then we'll come back and say goodbye.
Hi, I'm Nia Vardalos. The Portacallis Family is back in theaters on September
It is
8th.
1, 4, and 6.
So, since the first film came out 21 years ago, here's a quick refresher on what has happened so far, so you can get ready to see My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. My character Tula is a real cause of concern for the rest of the family. Why? Because in the first movie, my character is unmarried at 30 years old, which is a pain point because even Windex can't fix this for her traditional parents, Gus and Maria. Tula works at Dancing Zorba's, their Greek restaurant, but decides to take a job at her Aunt Bula's travel agency where she meets and falls in love with Ian Miller, a teacher who is tall and handsome and definitely not Greek.
Tulip, Porky Pocket.
Portacallis.
Okay, Tula.
Ultimately, Tula finds the inner strength to not only stand up for what she wants, but also come out of her shell and show her family who she truly is. There are some bumps along the way, but in the end, there's of course a wedding, and Ian and Tula get their happily ever after. In My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, I wrote about parenting and marriage because, you know what? It's getting tougher for everybody. Tula feels the pressure to be the fixer. Their businesses have fallen on hard times, and their teenage daughter feels like Tula is smothering her. Paris is also rebelling against the traditional Greek values of the family.
Mom's needy. Papa wants to marry me off. Yaya constantly tells me to never ever let a boy touch my pulaki. This family.
When the father Gus's attempt to convince the family he really is descended from Alexander the Great unearths a shocking truth. He and Maria were never legally married. The entire Portacallis clan is sent into chaos. But then a health scare puts things back in perspective, and Maria and Gus and Tula and Ian renew their vows before sending Paris off to college out of state. What's to come in My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3? This time, we're headed to the homeland.
We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah.
The family is invited to a Portacallis family reunion and have a one-of-a-kind adventure in Greece. This film is filled with lots of fun and lots of heart, and I can't wait for you to see it this September, only in theaters. Please grab your tickets now.
That
Yes.
movie is getting 26% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but
That's not
it's
good.
probably critic proof.
And it's
because
playing
I
in
think
East-
everybody wants to see it.
Playing in East Hampton.
What else do we have?
We have in East Hampton Big Fat Greek Wedding 1, 4, and 7 on Saturday and Sunday.
These are the times. Saturday,
Equalizer's still playing in East
Equalizer
Hampton.
3.
3. That's one
Audience
more.
at 0.
What's Bottoms?
Something called Bottoms. What is that, Bill?
It's a lesbian fight club.
No, it is not, you
I
just
am
made that
not
up.
even kidding.
good.
What?
It's a raunchy comedy, it's supposed to be very funny.
Barbie's still playing. And Oppenheimer.
You know, the original Barbie was made by Todd Haynes.
Was it?
No,
Yeah.
that was the one of the Karen Carpenter story that was
they
made with
used Barbie
Barbies.
dolls, and I was thinking about this because the Hamptons Film Festival is honoring Todd Haynes and also Paul Simon, and Todd is coming out here, he did Carol, but one of his first movies was Superstar, the Karen Clark story. the
Karen
Carpenter
story.
And that's another song where they don't say the title.
Don't you remember? You
Right.
told
me you
we
loved
shouldn't
me,
say, do we have to pay
baby.
copyright or anything?
Superstar.
Don't touch me in the future. So anyway, we have that film.
Why would you say that?
HR, she was actually hitting me.
I was,
So that's the Hamptons Film Festival that that Michael Clark mentioned a moment ago is going to be a special edition of Weekend Live, and that will come back in October and allegedly run longer than the weekend because the
The show
festival
is
goes.
The
And-
film
and
festival
they-
goes to
to the
11.
12th.
Is
And I can give you a little bit of
There is.
news that maybe, I don't know, I want to tell you this, but they're moving back to the Maidstone Hotel where
Oh.
is their home base, where all the celebrities gather and set.
As opposed to last year when they were at the Burger King in
No,
South
they were,
Hampton.
they've been at 1770 for a couple of
Oh.
Hey, has Jimmy Fallon ever been here, and was it nice Jimmy or bad Jimmy?
I saw that just on social media today, that whole situation.
Yeah.
But no, he's been here, he was here with Drew Barrymore, she interviewed him during the pandemic. And he's great. I mean, every time I've seen him,
And
he's been
she's
really
lovely
nice.
too.
That's the story.
Well, she's
That's what
she's
we hear.
unbelievable.
She's really very
and she
sweet.
just had the stalker out here. She
Yeah.
wasn't here, but the.
Karen, what were you doing to poor Drew Barrymore?
Oh,
I
God.
have a Drew Barrymore story.
Okay, tell us your
Okay.
Drew Barrymore
I
story.
showed her a house
So
in,
did I.
in Bridgehampton, or
Yeah.
in Sagaponic.
Yeah.
And she came along with a friend, and the two of them walked through this house for 45 minutes. It was an open house.
Right.
Just going through and picking about all the things that they didn't like about
Oh.
the house.
Really?
They absolutely hated the house. So I'm thinking to myself,
Why
how
are
long do they spend in houses they do like? It must be like a day-long event. But I couldn't place her. I had no idea who she
Oh,
was.
She comes
Yeah.
in very.
Yeah,
Was
right.
she, is it like she
She's-
might? so I
she's
thought she was-
incognito.
Yeah, and it wasn't until after she had left, I was like, oh my God. Because I spent 45 minutes talking to this woman. I'm like, who is she?
Yeah, you could tell
Where did she
something
end up
around
buying?
the
Where did
eyes,
she-
right?
I don't think
Somewhere in
she.
Bridgehampton, really.
No, she's in Sagaponic. I won't tell you
Don't give
where.
the address, 'cause she already has
Let's
had
get
a
the address
stalker.
out. No one's watching.
Do we have any, do you have some Drew Barrymore trivia question for us?
Okay.
Ryan?
Drew Barrymore trivia question.
I don't know.
What was her first movie that she starred in?
E.T.
E.T.
Sorry, that was too
What?
easy.
All right.
Yeah.
What was the Beach Boys song that she would remember in 51st Dates?
Oh, that's a
Saw
great
that
question. I
again.
have
That is
no
a good
idea.
question.
Wow.
No, it was the,
It's Bermuda, Bahama.
No,
What is
Little Surfer.
It's a Beach Boys song.
Little Surfer.
Yeah.
no, that's Surfer Girl?
Wouldn't it be
Uh,
nice? What is that one?
Oh, wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah, there you go. You got a little
Right.
sing along.
If anyone was tuning to this channel, they
We
just.
don't have the rights to sing this song, and now it's going to be a lawsuit. Yeah.
Oh, no, okay.
No, I remember when I worked at PBS, we were allowed to use songs all the time because we were technically nonprofit. No one ever, when we were at PBS, no big deal.
Howard
Maybe.
Stern.
Maybe.
Howard Stern, you owe us money.
You keep doing
You
that to
owe
me.
us money. Cover of Dan's papers
Yes,
this
give us
week.
money, please, Howard.
Oh, we had a special, this is called padding and vamping. We had a special guest, his name is Kevin Fleming, and we want to talk about, just for 10 seconds, what's going on at Agawam Park on Saturday in
Yeah, he
Southampton.
couldn't make it at the very last minute.
It's called Return to the Tents. It's a fundraiser. It's for new artists
Emerging artists.
emerging and designers, clothing designers. And it's called Back to the Tents because it's kind of a throwback to Fashion Week in New York when those were in tents in Bryant Park and around
Yeah.
the city,
And
mostly
this
Bryant
is
Park.
mostly fashion.
And
so
this is largely fashion.
yeah.
It has booths outside. You can go for free. But if you want to attend some of the other stuff and help them raise some money, the tickets start at $50. It's all day Saturday from like 10 in the morning until 6 at night. And it's continuous fashion shows. So a lot of talent is going to be on display. And I'm sorry that Kevin is circling somewhere in Amagansett now going, where's LTV? As many do. You can drive right by this palatial little corner of the world. But we wanted to give that a shout out because it's a good cause.
what's
Also,
this?
a few weeks ago, we told you there was some cultural stuff happening at the Hampton Bays Regal. They did a special doc called Renee Fleming, Cities That Sing.
And she's a fantastic soprano. in
That
case
was
you don't
Paris.
know.
They also do a little travel log. They go around Paris. Well, it was a modest hit. It's all around the country, but you can only see it in Hampton Bays. And it is coming back September 16th. And it is Cities That Sing with Renee, but it is Venice. And I would be curbside if I wasn't gonna be out of town. So that's, again, 3 o'clock Saturday.
And
She's a soprano?
she's a soprano,
Oh,
yes,
I
and
thought Edie Falco was the soprano.
no, yes,
More at-
but
I've been
but
waiting to
this
say
is
that.
part
We
of
wanted to
stage-
finish with a good joke, but
Wait,
then
wait,
he
wait.
did that.
But
It's-
part of Stage Access, and she's gonna be interviewed by Kelsey Grammer, who
Correct.
you talked to and interviewed for an upcoming story in the James
Lane
Lane Post.
Yes.
Very
So
cool.
got
There you
that
go,
in.
10 seconds.
Anyway,
10.
everybody, we
Hey,
get
thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you to
Ellie.
everybody,
Together.
Yes, right.
Thanks
Pull
for
your-
doing this.
Everybody pull your ear.
We can't believe they did this either.
See you next time.
Oh, there are little lines of.
Guys.
Oh, it's Sheriff to the moon.
Oh my God, that is so sexual. What are you doing?
Oh my God, they walk into the tunnel. I didn't really, yeah, I guess it is.
Here we go.
Ba-dum-bum. Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, that was great.
I've been trying to
Thanks,
get him
guys.
all summer to